and मैं सबको यही बोलता हूँ कि बॉस स्टार्टअप में जब घुसो, जब आपके पास इतना कन्विक्शन हो एक चीज के लिए कि आप उसमें सालों साल लगा सको, नॉट जस्ट बिकॉज कि यूएस में कुछ हो रहा है उसको फंडिंग मिल गया तो इंडिया में कर लेते हैं, या फिर मतलब कि वो दूसरा बंदा कर रहा है तो इसमें कर लेते हैं, या फिर इसकी वेव चल रही है तो उसमें कर लेते हैं। अगर वेव भी आती है इंडस्ट्री में ना कि इस इंडस्ट्री में इसकी वेव चल रही है कि इसमें पूरा फंडिंग, सो डोंट डू इट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट। यू शुड फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड हैव आइडेंटिफाइड अ प्रॉब्लम which is as big as उससे masses affect हो। दूसरा, you should have the entire conviction for that problem yourself so that you can stick to the company, because it's not a rosy picture, right? It's not a rosy ride.
Hi Shubham.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi Madhumita, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, great, and just very excited to see you and having a conversation with you. So, first of all, welcome to Karostartup platform. I think this is our first interview with the Karostartup, and it feels really pleasure to have you in our platform. And guys, this side Shubham Maheshwari with us, and currently he's working in his startup that is Being Chef, and we are about to discuss the journey of Being Chef. How did it started? And first of all, we want to know where are you from, and Shubham, little bit about yourself and qualifications.
Right. So, pleasure is all mine to be there on this platform. And first of all, you guys are doing really good job. And I've following your stories personally. I've been following it, and it's really inspiring to see a lot of actual stories coming out of this platform, and which is really good. So, if I have to specifically tell about myself, so I am from Jaipur. I was born and brought up there, and I did my schooling from there's a school, Maheshwari Public School, which is apparently famous for producing IITians and CAs in Jaipur. So I did my schooling from there, and then post that I did my graduation from NID Jaipur.
Okay.
And then I was working with a consulting firm before starting this entire venture. I worked there shortly, only for 8 months, and yeah. So then after that, I've been kind of doing this startup only. It's from 2014 exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So you are just a graduate, I believe, right?
Yeah, just a graduate, just
Okay.
a normal graduate, mechanical engineer.
I think that is really inspiring. Like, people say like, degree matters sometimes when you are, going for the investment part. So what are your views about that?
Right.
Like, does it matter?
अगर यार डिग्री का फर्क पड़ता है, so they would not have been Tatas and Ambanis and all of these guys. Like most of the business groups that you'll see. So I think for doing business, what actually matters is business acumen and confidence and perseverance, right? I mean, degree can help you a bit, but whatever grad degree you will have in Indian education system, you won't have degree for entrepreneurship in general in graduation, right? And
Definitely.
Once you read something and when you are in the real world, it's very different. So I would say that I mean, I would not even say that it hardly creates any difference. Yeah, obviously, there can be a lot of things which you can learn in a college or specific to entrepreneurship. There are now a lot of courses happening around here and there. But I would say that's not a deal breaker. I mean, I would say that it's an advantage if you have it. But if you don't have it, then it hardly creates a difference, because most of the people, by the time you actually, get it to that stage in which you have the degree, risk appetite is affected a bit, because if you're starting a company at the young age of 21, 23, then things are different. If you're starting at age of 30, then things are different. So that is the same thing. It's like nothing is right or wrong. I mean, it depends. Whenever you have an idea and you have a pure conviction for that idea, then you should just go for it. Ideally, that should be the criteria instead of looking for a degree or something like that.
Okay, so let's discuss about like when did you started, and can you little bit tell about the Being Chef, so people would get to know about the idea you are having.
Right. So it all started. Okay, so if I go back, I'll see I was in 10th standard way back in 2006, and there was this movie Rang De Basanti, and that really inspired me. And I was like, कि बॉस जिंदगी में कुछ करना है तो ऐसा करना है कि mass level पे can we somehow bring a little bit of change, or can we somehow give it back to the society. And that was back of my mind. And then I was like, ठीक है, अभी देखते हैं, let's see. And then you are then preparing for this IIT examination and other stuff. You don't have enough time. And then when I started doing engineering, I basically started spending a lot of time in extracurricular activities and societal activities and other stuff. And that was a time in college that I actually developed that entire I would say that entire liking for entrepreneurship, entire liking for doing something on your own instead of that entire risk appetite. So I was lucky enough to get an opportunity in which I was supposed to head the entire India Against Corruption movement, coordinate the entire movement in Rajasthan. And I was also a part of a couple of events group and other stuff, vice president of the college and other stuff. So these things only, started this thing, okay, I can do something, and I always wanted to do something which has a very strong impact angle. But I was not very much clear with the idea. And then I was lucky enough to get into a consulting firm from my college itself. And that was the first time that I came out of Jaipur. So when you are in Jaipur and then you are like chill because mom hai ghar pe, you are in a comfortable lifestyle, ki chalo theek hai, khana mil gaya. So you take things for granted. And when I relocated to Gurgaon and I was living on my own, and I realized, boss, daily meals, it's such an important thing, but it's largely ignored. And cooking in a process, if you see, it's very inefficient. So हमने सोचा यार engineering कर लिया, कौन सा rocket science है, अपन kitchen में जाएगा और खाना बना लेगा. तो अपन we did this thing and we tried our hands on cooking, and we realized that it's not as it comes in a normal YouTube video, right? In a YouTube video, you will see the dish being prepared in 2 to 5 minutes max. And because everything is already pre-chopped, pre-processed, all they are doing is just assembling things and other stuff. And when you have to do it on your own, you have to, first of all, ensure that all the ingredients are available. Then you would have to cut, chop them. You would have to know the entire recipe. So it's too much of time consuming. And agar hum abhi बैठे and we just think about it, हमारी mom भी daily एक meal, एक कोई भी एक चाहे breakfast, lunch, dinner, we generally spend 30-35 minutes in the entire preparation of that meal. So उस टाइम पे दिमाग में, so उस टाइम तो बहुत nascent स्टेज पे थे हम लोग कि यार हम लोगों ने खुद कुक करा. हमें रियलाइज हुआ कि यार बहुत एक तो वेस्टेज हुआ, फूड का वेस्टेज बहुत होता है किचन के अंदर. दूसरा वो खाना इतना गंदा बना, बट वो खुद के हाथ से बना तो बहुत अच्छा लगा. तो वो लगा कि that entire sense of creating something, it's unmatchable. When you create something, चाहे आप खुद के आप हाथ से कुछ ऐप बनाए या कुछ भी करें, you feel really good. So it's like, can we somehow give this feeling to the consumer and take away all the hassles from the entire process? Because cooking is something which is an integral part of your life. मतलब daily roti, kapda, makan, one of the 3 basic necessities
you can't live without.
Right. And cooking primarily, if you see, from past 300-400 years हमेशा से वैसे ही होते आ रहा है. वो एक कन्वेंशनल तरीका है, मतलब कुछ चेंज नहीं हुआ उसके अंदर, कुछ एवोल्यूशन नहीं आया. सो उस तरह से वो आइडिया फिर दिमाग में घूमने लगा. फिर काफी चीजें, बिकॉज इम्पैक्ट एंगल बहुत स्ट्रांग था, बिकॉज वी वांट टू स्टॉप फूड वेस्टेजेस हैपनिंग इन योर किचन. सो लाइक यूजिंग आवर कॉन्सेप्ट, यू डोंट नीड टू हैव एनीथिंग इन योर लाइक किचन, यू डोंट नीड टू हैव एनी इंग्रेडिएंट, नथिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड. सो अगर आपके पास कोई सामान ही नहीं होगा तो ऐसा कुछ होगा नहीं ना कि ये सड़ गया, ये रॉटन हो गया, इसकी एक्सपायर डेट निकल गई, तो वो वेस्टेज ही नहीं होगा. सो वी आर मेकिंग इट सो एफिशिएंट एंड जस्ट काइंड ऑफ taking away all the time that you spend in cooking and giving you more time to spend with yourself, with your family, with your loved ones, right? So उस तरह से फिर दिमाग में आइडिया आया, तो हमने कहा कि ऐसा कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट बनाएं कि हम लोगों से जल्दी से खाना बनवा दें. And that was the entire concept. And then I left the job. I just worked for 8 months. I left the job. In 2013, I joined the job. 2014, February, I left the job and started working on this full time. And most of the industry leaders said कि यार ऐसा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. आप कह रहे हो कि एक 8 साल का बच्चा खाना बना ले. It's not feasible. But we took it as a challenge कि बॉस हमें लगता है logically, and I was a mechanical engineer, mechanical तरह से समझ में आ रहा था, तो क्यों नहीं बन सकता. And then we created that product, and so finally we created a product in which, let's say you want to cook something, we'll just ask you to spend 5 minutes in your kitchen, and then you will end up cooking anything. And even an 8-year-old kid can cook. So you don't have to apply your mind anywhere. You don't need to have any of the ingredients, and it's just 5 minutes in 8 simple steps, and you can be a master chef. As simple as that. And so it was quite a different experience altogether. वो 3 महीने जब हमने शुरू में बीटा वर्जन करा, जब हमने मल्टीपल बार लॉन्च करा, हमने प्रोडक्ट इसी तरह से बनाया कि हम डिमांड की तरह से ही बनाए कि कंज्यूमर में. सो देयर आर 2 ways, either you can push something or you can create a pull out of it. So पुल ही था कि कहाँ किस चीज की जरूरत है, हम वो एनालाइज करें, उस हिसाब से हमारा प्रोडक्ट डेवलप करें. And that's how you're able to develop a product. And we were the first mover in this space in India. There was in 2014. So now to everyone is talking about DIY cooking kits.
Okay, like talking about just an example about like if I want to cook something, like if I want to cook like some chola or bhatura. So
Right.
like I have to went through your app and what I have to do like as an individual.
As an individual, it's nothing. Let's say, take a very simple example, which least complexity. Let's say you want to cook pasta, right? You'll come on
Hmm.
our application, you come on a website, and then just place the order. You'll also put your taste preferences. Ki, I
Hmm.
want to have it more spicy, less spicy, whatever. And then we'll send you a box which will have all the ingredients. All you have
Hmm.
to do is just assemble things up, and we'll send it with a very innovative recipe card in which you would just have to follow 8 steps, and that's it. And you will end up cooking pasta in 5 minutes. As simple as that. So you don't have to apply your mind anywhere.
Okay.
You don't need to manage any of the ingredients. So even if you're staying in a PG and
Hmm.
have no functional kitchen also, all
Hmm.
you need to have is a induction pan and a panel, and that's it. आपको एक वो बर्तन, आपका दो ही बर्तन होगा, एक वो आपका करची होगा और एक वो पतीला होगा जिसमें आप बना रहे हो, उसके अलावा आपका कोई तीसरा बर्तन भी नहीं होगा. So
Hmm.
even if you're washing your dishes on your own, so you will not end up washing a lot of dishes. So उस तरह से the entire process में पूरा हम time आपका optimize करके save कर देते हैं.
I think it's
And
it's amazing.
right. Thank
So, like, it's, I think it's a very creative idea. Not everyone can, get through this pain. So that's why, it's all about entrepreneurship. It's all about the mind you are currently using and the pain point you are currently working with,
right.
right? So, like, what is the team size currently?
So we have a team of around 30 people right now, and as we are a bootstrap company, we have created a model in which we will remain lean and have more efficient operations. So
Hmm.
throughout ये था हमारा मोड कि I come from a मारवाड़ी typical मारवाड़ी background,
Hmm.
like कि बॉस कैश बन का मॉडल नहीं बनाना, धंधा बनाना है. मतलब
Hmm.
ऐसा बनाना है कि कल को आप मतलब 50 साल बाद भी इट फ्लरिशेस, लाइक मैकडोनल्ड्स
Hmm.
बना, टाटा बना, राइट. मतलब
Hmm.
नॉट लाइक शॉर्ट स्टिंट वाला चीज. सो
Right.
हमेशा से था कि ऐसा मॉडल बनाओ जिसमें कि आपका मिनिमलिस्टिक, सी इफ समथिंग कैन बी डन फ्रॉम जस्ट 2 guys, व्हाई वुड यू नीड टू हैव 4 people फॉर द सेम. तो उसी तरह से
Definitely.
पूरा लीन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लीन मॉडल के ऊपर ही हम लोगों ने शुरू से बिल्ड करा है. आई थिंक दैट इज वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजंस दैट वी बिकेम वी आर एबिटा पॉजिटिव एंड नेट प्रॉफिटेबल. एंड फूड एज ए इंडस्ट्री जहाँ पे इतने टर्मोइल है और जहाँ पे lot of companies are burning cash, थोड़ा सा उस हिसाब से हमें एडवांटेज है कि हम लोग कैश फ्लो पॉजिटिव है.
Okay, so after the college, you did the job so that you can, get some savings, or it was from your family support?
No. So in terms of job was primarily because I was not clear with any idea. So
Hmm.
it was a good experience. See, consulting वो मेरा 8 महीने भी I had a lot of learning, right?
Hmm.
मतलब उसमें पूरा consulting is a different ball game altogether, right? When you are working with top-notch companies and helping them out with their sales and marketing strategy, so
Hmm.
you learn a bit about how companies are operating and other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So ऐसा नहीं था कि मेरे को जॉब इसलिए करना था कि मेरे को सेव करना था, कुछ करना था. इट वाज वेरी सिंपल दैट मेरे को उस टाइम पे आइडिया क्लियर नहीं था. एंड मैं सबको यही बोलता हूँ कि बॉस स्टार्टअप में जब घुसो, जब आपके
Hmm.
पास इतना कन्विक्शन हो एक चीज के लिए कि आप उसमें सालों साल लगा सको, नॉट
Hmm.
जस्ट बिकॉज कि यूएस में कुछ हो रहा है उसको फंडिंग मिल गया तो इंडिया में कर लेते हैं, या फिर मतलब कि वो दूसरा बंदा कर रहा है तो इसमें कर लेते हैं, या फिर इसकी वेव चल रही है तो उसमें कर लेते हैं. अगर वेव भी आती है इंडस्ट्री में ना कि इस इंडस्ट्री में इसकी वेव चल रही है कि
Right.
इसमें पूरा फंडिंग, सो डोंट डू इट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. यू शुड first of all you should have identified a problem which is
Hmm.
as big as usse masses affect ho.
Hmm.
Dusra, you should have the entire conviction for that problem yourself so that you
Hmm.
can stick to the company, because it's not a rosy picture, right? It's not a rosy ride. मतलब इसमें बहुत सारे आपके obstacles आएंगे. So शुरू से उस time I was not clear with any idea. There were a couple of things but I was not very much convinced enough with those ideas in college time. So I was like कि ठीक है, उस time opportunity आया, जॉब ले लेते हैं. फिर जैसे ही जॉब चालू हुआ 2-3 महीने में ही समझ में आ गया, and then we started working on this simultaneously, and just sleeping over the idea and understanding कि बॉस सिर्फ क्या ये जस्ट इज इट जस्ट लाइक जिससे कहते हैं ना कि ये वो क्या ये प्यार है या फिर इन्फैक्चुएशन है, तो
Hmm.
वो समझना भी जरूरी था. तो वो समझा जब लगा कि यार बॉस ये समझ में आ रहा है, दिस इज व्हाट यू डू. एंड हम लोगों ने पूरा मार्केट रिसर्च करके देन आई लेफ्ट द जॉब इन 8 months. तो वो सीन था. एंड 8 महीने में तो क्या ही सेविंग होती है कि रनिंग अ वेंचर आप इतने साल तक चला सको. सो माय फैमिली सपोर्टेड मी इनिशियली. वी आर बूटस्ट्रैप्ड. फैमिली ओनली फंडेड दिस एंटायर वेंचर because they
Okay.
also had conviction in this idea. and yeah, that's how
And
it
because
has
they
been.
were from the business, they supported you for the business. Because the most of the middle class people, like if I talk about my parents, they are not supporting entrepreneurship at that level. So because of having a business background, you just have the support from the family, right? Would you
So
agree with me?
I'll say see एक बहुत अच्छी चीज मैं क्या है कि मैं आजकल रोज आई राइट थॉट ऑफ डेज राइट थॉट ऑफ द डे मतलब मैं सुबह उठ के आई मेडिटेट एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द पास्ट एक्सपीरियंसेस एंड मल्टीपल थिंग्स दैट यू सी इन द एंटायर डे आपको कुछ ना कुछ आता रहता है दिमाग में तो मैंने ये बोला कि यार इफ यू हैव टू डू समथिंग ना you will definitely end up doing it and if you are not that if you're not having that much of conviction for that thing you will end up having a lot of excuses कि इस वजह से
Yeah.
यार I also come from a middle class family only
Hmm.
and जब you won't believe so आप कह रहे हो कि अगर फैमिली में थोड़ा सा बिजनेस का I come from a Marwadi background right
Hmm.
my entire paternal sides are all CA CFAs mom के साइड भी सब इंजीनियर डॉक्टर तो सब पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं राइट
Hmm.
उनको भी मेरे को ये आइडिया कन्विंस करने में बिकॉज जब मैं पहली बार गया मॉम से डिस्कस करा कि मैं ऐसा करने के लिए जॉब छोड़ रहा हूँ तो वो बोले कि
Hmm.
अच्छा बेटा आप किचन में चलो किचन में सो आपको जो इसमें इंसिडेंस बता रहा हूँ राइट आप बोले कि
Hmm.
किचन में चलो मैंने कहा ठीक है तो मम्मी बोली कि 3-4 अलग अलग तरह की दालें थी और यार आपको भी जानता है कि इतना ज्यादा आप जाते नहीं हो ना मतलब गाइस का इन्वॉल्वमेंट कभी किचन में रहा ही नहीं क्योंकि वो
Yeah.
पूरा सिस्टम इको सिस्टम इस तरह से है तो अभी मेरे को नहीं पता था कौन सी दाल कौन सी है तो मम्मी ने पूछा आपको पता मैंने बोला नहीं पता मम्मी बोली बेटा आपको यही नहीं पता आप कह रहे हो कि फूड में आप एक स्टार्टअप चालू करोगे सो आई सेड कि अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि मेरे को ये नहीं पता और मैं अभी
Hmm.
आपकी आंखों के सामने 5 मिनट में कढ़ाई पनीर या पास्ता बना दूं सो आप विल यू बी एबल टू बिलीव दिस बोले हो ही नहीं सकता मैंने कहा यही तो प्रोडक्ट बना रहे सो सबसे पहला कंज्यूमर तो मैं ही हो गया यूटिलिटी मेरे ऊपर ही आ गई तो
Hmm.
you have to वर्क अराउंड थिंग्स इन सच अ वे दैट आपको अगर सही में किसी चीज के लिए कन्विक्शन है you'll fight all the odds otherwise it's a very easy excuse यार बहुत सारे problems और issues रहते हैं and I've seen a lot of people in my circle who have started company from not even middle class background from lower middle class background and then they've done pretty well I mean very so वही है कि मतलब आपका कितना कन्विक्शन है उस आइडिया के ऊपर एंड जहां
Right.
तक अगर आपके पास शुरू में फंड्स नहीं है तो आप इन्वेस्टमेंट रेस कर लो वो भी कोई इशू नहीं
Hmm.
है there are
Hmm.
multiple options over there people who are ready to put in money if you are
Yeah.
working on something really great there are people who are ready to put in money so I mean I think money is never an issue to run a
Hmm.
company there are other
Hmm.
factors which are responsible for running a company or which are responsible for a company not being successful or successful but money I don't think money practically is that important an issue yeah
Yeah. Okay, so I was reading about you like at the very first beginning when you started at your initial stage, like thousand of the
mm-hmm.
deliveries you were doing, like as in being solo. So talk about that, like
Right.
how was it, and like in a one day how many customers you get, and after that how does it seems to be like 2x 3x, and how does it change?
Right, right. So I'll tell you. So basically, what happened was कि so when we had a decision that we'll remain bootstrapped, so उसका primarily एक ही reason ये था कि अगर आप शुरू में जल्दी fund raise कर लेते हो, तो you get into that number game, and then you would have to work on a growth curve. You would have to expand very fast, and then somehow you don't get that experience of grassroots reality की बॉस एक्चुअल में चीजें कैसे हो रही है so
Hmm.
if you have to build something in let's say so I would मतलब I have always learned this from my advisors and from my family that कि आप एक छोटी जगह पे आप अपने हाथ गंदे करके आप चीजें समझ के आप इश्यूज को सॉल्व करोगे वो बेटर है विजविज आपने बेस अपना स्ट्रांग नहीं बनाया और आप बहुत ऊपर स्केल हो गए और फिर आपको पता चला कि यार बेस तो वीक था हमारा so the
Hmm.
entire process of past 5-6 years was to just build the base and then delivery comes an important role because हम grass root पे तो हम लोगों के घर पे deliver कर रहे हैं box तो I wanted to do it myself and experience कि एक क्या interaction होता है एक rider का किस तरह से they would interact एक consumer का क्या mindset होता है what is he expecting when someone is coming and other stuff and that's how you will be able to जैसे लेट्स अगर मैंने आज तक अगर वो चीज नहीं करा होता तो मैं कभी एक राइडर का चैलेंज भी नहीं समझ पाता
Right.
मल्टीपल चैलेंजेस कम राइट एंड देन एक बंद एसी कमरे में बैठ के स्ट्रेटेजी बना लो फाइन बट ग्रास रूट पे चीजें अपने हिसाब से चलती है सो उसके लिए
Right.
आपको ग्रास रूट पे चीजें समझनी पड़ेगी एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई डिड दिस एंड आई थिंक इट हेल्प्ड अस अ लॉट इन क्रिएटिंग दैट एंटायर लीन मॉडल कि हम कैसे चीजें ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं कहाँ पे हम कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव तरीके से वी कैन रन दी ऑपरेशंस एंड अदर स्टफ and जहां तक बात है हमारे मैग्नीट्यूड की we have served more than 500,000 plus people more than 6 lakh plus people we have served till date, and it has all been bootstrapped, no single piece of marketing. We have more than 1 lakh followers on Facebook. We are just humbled to receive a couple of awards and appreciation from government of India, from Jeff Bezos, Amazon CEO, and other stuff. So वो सब चलता रहा, वो सब चीजें आती रही. See, till the time you focus on creating a business model and creating a product, ये सब चीजें आती रहती है साथ में. मतलब these are all not very important things. The most important thing is that आप जो बिजनेस क्रिएट करना चाह रहे हो, या टिपिकल हम भाषा में बोले तो आप जो धंधा क्रिएट कर रहे हो उसकी वायबिलिटी क्या है, विथ स्केल कैन यू क्रिएट प्रॉफिट, is there any impact angle that you can impact a lot of people's life and other stuff, and those things matter, and we have entirely focused on those things in past 5 years.
Amazing. I think totally agree with your what you said right now. Before this, I want to know that, like, how did you choose your team? Because I have heard about, like, you have also chosen as a team, like, who's a master chef who was in like 2014. You were
Right.
in touch with them. So, like, how did you choose your team? Like 30 people currently are working with you, and it's a very
Right.
big deal. So, like, what is your criteria, and what is your mindset when you see people, and what is the hunger you see in the people, like when you connect when they connect with your vision?
See, I would see, मतलब सब लॉजिक वगैरह सब एक जगह है. लॉजिक होता है, यू हैव अ स्ट्रेटजी थ्रू व्हिच यू रिक्रूट people, through which you build your team. But I would say luck also plays a key role in this, right?
Yeah.
You talk to like 10-15 people जहाँ आपको synergy बैठ रहा है. See, अगर एक गाड़ी आप चला रहे हो, गाड़ी में 4 पहिए हैं, आप बहुत तेज स्पीड से अपना पहिया घुमा रहे हो, पर अगर 3 पहिए से उतना सपोर्ट नहीं मिलेगा तो गाड़ी उस स्पीड से आगे बढ़ नहीं सकेगी. So everyone should know what vision the company has, at what speed we have to grow, and what actually we are building. And वो जब वो sync में होता है ना, तब आपको. So one thing that I've realized and one thing that I've implemented while building team is कि boss, I don't want to become a company, or I don't want to have a company जिसमें कि मतलब बहुत ज्यादा ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर हो, सब जनों की खुद की ओनरशिप हो. They should have their entire and they should feel the being the part of the company. They should have their entire sense of ownership, and that's how the entire culture that we have is that matlab, and that is what is also the major reason that most of the people are with us since our initial days only. मतलब वो 5-6 साल से हमारे साथ ही. And food as an industry which is which is defamed for very high iteration, because people don't stick in this industry, they shift very fast. So it's a very different मतलब figure की जहाँ पे हमारी टीम इंटैक्ट रही है हमारे साथ. एंड मतलब सो वही है कि जब मतलब सी यू हैव टू दैट एंटायर टीम इज योर फैमिली. एंड जब वो सेंस उनमें आ जाएगा ना, तब आपको कुछ एफर्ट डालने की जरूरत नहीं है, फिर सब अपने आप ऑटो पायलट मोड पे. एंड दैट्स हाउ कंपनी शुड आइडियली रन ऑटो पायलट मोड पे, राइट? सबको अपना अपना रोल पता होना चाहिए, सबको अपनी रिस्पांसिबिलिटी पता होना चाहिए, एंड दे शुड हैव देयर एंटायर सेंस ऑफ ओनरशिप. सो उसी तरह से आई यूज्ड टू आइडेंटिफाई. मैं देखता हूँ जहाँ पे इस तरह की सिनर्जी बिल्ड हो रही है, जहाँ पे इस तरह से चीजें हो रही है, तो इट्स फाइन. Then degree hardly creates any different. Then past experience hardly creates any different. That hunger should be there, because startup is a very different game. You can't just expect someone who want to stay in a very comfortable life to work in a startup. Even if he is working, then he would not be able to work for a longer duration. So वही लोग जो hustler हैं, जिनको चाहिए कि boss, I want to struggle, because see, if I am risking too much, then proportionately I would have very high returns also. And that mindset is really required in all of your team members. Otherwise it will become a really difficult journey for you. So generally वैसे ही select करते रहते हैं. You also want to take a lot of people in team, but वो ये कि कभी कभार वो time set नहीं हो पाता. But जितना भी generally, so मैं इसमें ये नहीं बोलूँगा कि हम कोई बहुत फंडू तरीके से भी recruit. थोड़ा लक का भी गेम रहता है, और थोड़ा सा बस ये कि आपका अगर जब तक कि आइडियोलॉजी ये है कि what do you want out of your team, what that one basic thing that you want out of your team. So हमारा सबका ये था कि बॉस सब जने उस लेवल पे सिंक होने चाहिए कि ओके, यू हैव टू बी अ हसलर, एंड यू आर नॉट हियर फॉर अ कंफर्टेबल दिस थिंग. इट्स अ हाई रिस्क हाई रिटर्न गेम. एंड उस माइंडसेट को हम सबसे पहले, सो यू सेट सम प्रायोरिटीज कि ये प्रायोरिटी सेट हो रहा है. उसके बाद देन यू कैन इग्नोर अ कपल ऑफ थिंग्स. चलो, एजुकेशन, क्वालिफिकेशन, वी अ बैकग्राउंड. सो यू वोंट बिलीव someone who joined as a delivery rider in a company way back in 2014 is right now managing the operations. So वही वो पूरा evolution होते रहा. तो आप जिस सैलरी पे ही ज्वाइन, आज ही इज अर्निंग 10x ऑफ दैट सैलरी. सो पूरा एंटायर एवोल्यूशन हैज बीन हैपनिंग. सो उसी तरह से अगर वो माइंडसेट सिंक में है तो फिर सब चीजें बहुत छोटी है यार. कुछ रॉकेट साइंस नहीं, आप सब सीख लेते हो. हमने भी कहीं से कुछ सीखा नहीं है. I was not from an F&B background. And things are very logical. आप चीजें समझ जाते हो जब तक आपको वो समझने की इच्छा हो. So
Right.
that is what we primarily look for, I think, majorly.
Okay. So, Shubham, tell us like how you are going to expand it. Like, you know, you have covered already Gurgaon, right? Most of the,
Right.
so what are your future map, like how to expand it? And also, you know, to also, uh, maintain the operation team, because in expandation, you need to really, expand the team of operations as well. So you will be recruiting more people, like when you think about that, you know, because most of the people who are watching the interview wants to connect or who wants to get into food tech. So just wanted to
Right.
have a clarity on that. Yeah.
See, so as far as expansion is concerned, right now, I would say in the entire COVID situation, I would say this is the time for building. This is, I would ideally not say this is not
Definitely.
the right time for expansion. There's a huge opportunity, and ideally you should build things and wait जब तक थोड़ा सा situation normal हो जाए. Because see, right now everyone, there's a lot of uncertainty in market, and this, the fear of unknown is the biggest fear. एंड उसको कोई सोल्यूशन, उसको कोई जवाब नहीं है. वो अननोन का, जब आपको पता है कि ये नोन है बॉस, ये आएगा और 7 दिन में चला जाएगा, तब दिमाग सॉर्टेड रहेगा. जब आपको पता नहीं कि कहाँ से आ सकता है, कैसे आ सकता है. नाउ WHO इज गिविंग गाइडलाइंस कि बॉस फूड में नहीं आता, ये नहीं आता. तो ये सब गाइडलाइंस देने की एक्चुअल जरूरत क्यों पड़ रही है? क्योंकि देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ फियर इन द मार्केट, राइट? सो चाहे वो कोई भी इंडस्ट्री हो, चाहे वो फूड हो, चाहे वो कुछ भी हो, चाहे वो लॉजिस्टिक्स हो, व्हाटएवर इट इज, राइट? एवरीवन इज अफेक्टेड. So this is the time for building, and we are building things. We are building the future of entire food. We are working on couple of things which will change the entire landscape of food. जिस तरह से वो पूरे फूड को परसीव करा गया है, जिस तरह से पूरे हेल्थ को परसीव करा गया है, जिस तरह से पूरे न्यूट्रिशन को परसीव करा गया है. सो हमारा कंपनी का एक ही विजन है, वी आर अ ब्रांड फॉर मासेस, एंड वी वांट टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम्स रिलेटेड टू मासेस एंड इम्पैक्ट, like impact 10 million people, impact 100 million people. That is what is our vision. तो उसी लाइंस पे वी आर वर्किंग, एंड साइमल्टेनियसली उसके लिए जो जो रिक्वायर्ड है, वी आर बिल्डिंग थिंग्स, एंड या, सो दैट इज व्हाट वी आर डूइंग राइट नाउ.
Okay. So I think amazing. Like everyone who is listening to this video would get an idea about the food tech. How does it working? So are you right now seeing any competition in the international market? Like who is doing something relevant to your company?
Yeah. So if I specifically say for DIY cook it yourself kit, there are multiple companies in US who have become like $1 billion companies. So there's a general saying that becoming a unicorn, it's fine, but becoming a profitable unicorn is something which is really difficult. And there are companies who have become profitable unicorn in this segment, and they're not just one or two. There are more than 2-3 companies who are unicorn in this segment. And in West specifically, people have seen crazy amount of growth for DIY cook it yourself entire concept and kit. So I mean, we are really hopeful that in India, the market, this is going to be the next future of the food industry, and this will actually transform the, and there will be a lot of companies which will come up in this space. But obviously, we being the first mover and the most experienced, and also in the product, we have a lot of advantages. So immediately, as of now, I would say that there is no direct competition to us right now in India and to the entire business model. And if I specifically say in US, in US also the companies are working on a little bit different model. So they are primarily grocery delivery companies. Ours is a different concept. So the entire value prop is different, even in US also. So the entire model on which we are currently working on which we want to build a brand for masses with health, nutrition, and other stuff in the picture, that no one else is doing in India. So yeah, we have that competitive advantage.
Amazing, amazing. And like you have created a monopoly, we can say, in India. I think India is the best market. So
No, India is an amazing market. Yeah.
so talking about, like, you have been a long journey you had in this, like, entrepreneurship. What is entrepreneurship up to you? Like, this why I am asking this. Most of the people
Right.
now in 8th class and 9th class are talking about entrepreneurship. In our days, it was
Right.
a little bit difficult, I think, because of the digital world we are having, and because of these stuffs. So what are your views, and you want to give a message to the entrepreneurs out there? So, like, about your journey, you have discussed a lot, so just wanted to know your views about that.
Right. See, I will say that entrepreneurship is right now a little trendy word, and ideally, this is not what it is. Entrepreneurship is everywhere. See, if you're doing a job, then also you are being an entrepreneur because you have an ownership of something. As a project का ownership है, आप कुछ काम का ownership है, तो आप entrepreneurship हर जगह है. Now the thing is that let's say if you want to build a company, so ideally you should be working in a very conventional way. Identify a problem which is big enough, which needs to be solved. ऐसा कुछ चीज नहीं है कि आप कुछ ला रहे हो, उससे पहले वो चीज हो नहीं रही थी. जैसे हम कुकिंग किट लाए, उससे पहले भी कुकिंग हो रहा था ना कन्वेंशनल तरीके से. हमने आइडेंटिफाई करा वहां पे गैप्स क्या है, वहां पे लूप होल्स क्या है, वहां पे कहां पे देयर आर थिंग्स मिसिंग जो हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. सो आइडेंटिफाई, you know, that problem, identification of that problem is really important. And most of the people nowadays they're just trying to skip this step. They just want to kind of build a company. चल ठीक है, इस पे ये build कर लेते हैं. So that's what I say. If you are building something and pushing it out in the market, you will be burning a lot of money. But vis-a-vis, if you are trying to solve a problem which is already there in the market, then you know the value prop becomes more stronger, and then you will have a ripple effect while the expansion is on.
Right.
So I mean, ideally you should identify a problem. Then you should understand that, okay, do you have enough conviction for this problem? I can identify 100 problems right now, but I might not have that much of conviction for all those 100 problems, right? So that conviction is also really important because this journey is going to be really difficult. जब तक आप conviction नहीं होगा, फिर आप क्या करोगे? You will start on something and then आप पहला मेजर रोड ब्लॉक आया, चलो आपका थोड़ा डिमोटिवेट हुआ, दूसरा आया, तीसरा आया, फिर आप सोचोगे चल छोड़ देते हैं यार, कुछ और कर लेते हैं. So that conviction only becomes that X factor because of which your company grows, because of which you stay afloat, because of which, you know, see, I always say that if you have to win a game, you have to be in the game, and you can only be in the game when you will have strong enough conviction for that entire problem that you're solving, right? So that is important. And then after that, you know, identify a solution which is scalable, which can also make money. So that is also one of the major loopholes that most of the people are saying कि यार problem identify कर लिया, conviction है, अभी solution बना लिया, पर इसे monetization का पता नहीं है कि पैसा कहाँ से आएगा, how will we become profitable. So it's fine, अभी सही है, आपने 2-4 राउंड रेस कर लिए, कभी तो आपकी profitability की बात होगी, कभी तो feasibility की बात होगी, या फिर आप सिर्फ venture fund के ऊपर ही आप scale करते रहोगे. So अभी you'll see the big companies like जितने भी है, they're not profitable, right? Ola, Uber, all of these big companies are burning money. So they have a different theory altogether. But वो Ola, Uber 1 in 1000 बनती है. अगर आपको fund raise नहीं हुआ, तो can you sustain on your own? तो उस ideology से when you start something, then you're actually trying to build a company. Otherwise, तो I think it becomes more like a trend then. कि चल ठीक है, startup कर लेते हैं, देख लेंगे, acquisition करा लेंगे, या फिर देख लेंगे, experience हो जाएगा, फिर we'll see something. फिर मेरे को बाहर एमएस में वो बन जाएगा, मेरा सीवी का अच्छा आ जाएगा. सो वो सब चीजें आई थिंक अवॉइड कर सकते हो तो कर लो, उसका कोई पॉइंट नहीं है. बाकी तो बाकी अदरवाइज इट्स रियली गुड एक्सपीरियंस बिकॉज यू नो इट्स लाइक, सो नाउ मोदी जी इज रनिंग अ कंट्री, राइट? एंड व्हेन यू रन अ स्टार्टअप, यू आर रनिंग योर ओन कंट्री. यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल द थिंग्स. कहाँ से सप्लाई चेन कैसे होगा, कहाँ पे ऑप्स होगा, कहाँ पे टेक होगा, कैसे कैश फ्लो होगा. So you take your entire, you make your own budget. So that experience is altogether a different thing. Even if, let's say, you're not able to sustain, even if your company dies, the entire learning that you have, that is unmatchable. That you can never get from anywhere else, because you have to be involved in each and everything. And I think, I mean, there is no match to that. So that is also, I mean, the most important factor, that क्या आपको वो interest है वो सब चीज सीखने का. You really want to, you know, take a toll on your personal life, you really want to devote a lot of time, then only you should enter into this. Otherwise you will be really disappointed with the entire journey in startups.
Yeah, I think it was a nice message you told to the people, because you know, being very cool and saying, you know, we have to do startup, and एक idea आ गया, चल दिए, फिर उसके बाद हम fail हो गए, फिर वही job पे आ गए. So it's not that easy, or it's not that cool. So I think thanks a lot for the interview. I think this interview will help so many people out there in the market who are currently working on the food tech market. So thanks a lot, Shubham, for giving your precious time to us. And it was really amazing talking to you. And I'm personally
Thank
really
you,
inspired
Madhumita.
by your
Pleasure is all
story.
mine. Thanks a lot. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Okay, so keep in touch. And also we are announcing you as a media partner for like 1 year in the market. So thanks a lot for, you know, making us.
Sure. No issues.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Nice speaking to you. Bye.